Dust hangs thick as cigarette smoke in the narrow Norman lane. Heat shimmers off the Tiger's 88mm barrel, still warm from the morning's duel. Hauptmann Hans Müller leans out of the cupola, field glasses pressed to his eyes, scanning the bocage ahead. Somewhere behind those chest-high earthen walls, the Americans are coming. He can smell their gasoline. "Contact left!" his gunner shouts. Müller swings the glasses. 2 GIs sprint across a gate, one cradling what looks like a drain pipe on his shoulder. Müller snorts. "Ein Spielzeug," he mutters. A toy. The loader, Gefreiter Klaus Becker, chuckles inside the turret. They bring a stovepipe to fight a Tiger? Müller allows himself a thin smile. 37 kills painted on the barrel. The Americans have thrown Shermans at him for weeks. They bounce like hailstones. This new toy will fare no better. 50 yards away, Private Joseph O'Callaghan drops to one knee behind a shattered apple tree. Sweat stings his eyes. His loader, Corporal Ramirez, slaps the rocket home. The bazooka, 2 feet of steel tubing, a battery, and the dream, feels absurdly light against the monster across the lane. O'Callaghan's heart hammers so loud he swears the Germans can hear it. He remembers the sergeant's words back at Carentan. "Aim for the belly, Joey, the belly." Müller raises a gloved hand to signal advance. The Tiger's Maybach engine growls, tracks chewing earth. O'Callaghan exhales. Steady. The rocket leaps with a hollow whoosh, trailing fire and wire. Müller's smirk freezes as the warhead streaks straight at him. Too fast, too low. It punches the Tiger's lower glacis plate just above the driver's hatch. A heartbeat of silence. Then the world turns orange. The explosion isn't loud, it's intimate. A sharp crack, like God snapping a rib. Then the Tiger's belly erupts. Armor plate peels outward in glowing petals. Black smoke billows, thick with the stench of burning rubber and flesh. Inside, Müller is weightless. The blast hurls him against the turret ring. His teeth click together hard enough to crack enamel. Flames lick up through the fighting compartment, hungry for oxygen, hungry for the men. Becker screams first. His uniform ignites like paper. He claws at the loader's hatch, fingers already blistering. The driver, Unteroffizier Wolf, never makes a sound. The rocket's shaped charge has turned his station into a furnace. Müller's world narrows to heat and pain. His left sleeve is on fire. He beats it against the radio box, eyes streaming. Through the haze, he sees the Tiger's bow sag. The front idler wheel spins uselessly, sheared from its mount. 37 painted kill rings now mock him from the barrel as it droops like a broken finger. Outside, O'Callaghan stares, stunned. The Tiger, invincible, mythical, coughs a second gout of flame. Ammunition cooks off in dull thumps. A hatch pops, a figure staggers out, wreathed in fire, collapsing before he can scream again. Ramirez yanks O'Callaghan down. "Move, kid! They've got friends!" 50 yards back, a second Tiger, Müller's wingman, Lieutenant Richter, lurches into view, gun transversing. Richter's voice crackles over the radio net. "Hauptmann, report!" Static answers. Richter's eyes widen behind his goggles. He sees the burning hulk, sees the 2 GIs scrambling for cover, sees the impossible. Richter's gunner yells, "Range 40 meters, HE loaded!" But Richter hesitates. That stovepipe, it killed a Tiger? In one shot? O'Callaghan and Ramirez dive into a ditch as the .88 roars. The shell detonates against the hedgerow, showering them with dirt and apple splinters. O'Callaghan's ears ring. He fumbles another rocket from the bag, hands shaking so badly he nearly drops it. Across the lane, Müller drags himself clear of the wreck, uniform smoldering. His pistol is gone. His pride is gone. He looks back at the Tiger. His Tiger. Now a pyre for 4 good men, and something cold settles in his gut. Richter's Tiger backs away, tracks churning mud. The radio net explodes with frantic voices. "Bazookas! They have bazookas that punch through!" Mueller collapses against a stone wall, staring at the toy that ended his war in a single heartbeat. But the day is young, and the Americans are still coming. A field telephone shrills in the half-dark of a stone barn. Oberstleutnant Kurt Meyer, commander of Panzer Regiment 3, snatches the receiver with a grease-stained hand. The voice on the line is Richter's, thin, cracked, nothing like the arrogant lieutenant who bragged about dueling Shermans at 2,000 meters. Hauptmann Muller is gone. One rocket, frontal plate, Tiger Brood in 8 seconds. Meyer's cigarette drops, forgotten. Say again? "Bazooka, Herr Oberstleutnant. Shoulder fired. They're everywhere now." Meyer slams the handset down, turns to the map table. Red arrows show the American spearheads gnawing through the bocage like termites. He pictures Muller, veteran of France, Russia, Africa, reduced to a smear on Normandy mud by a private with a drain pipe. Across the room, his adjutant, Major von Luttwitz, looks up from a singles intercept. "Berlin wants a full report on enemy anti-tank capabilities. They think we're exaggerating." Meyer laughs once, bitter. "Exaggerating?" He grabs a captured bazooka from the corner, dented, olive drab, still warm from the morning's fight. He hefts it. It weighs less than a Carbiner 98K. "Tell Berlin this toy killed a Königstiger before lunch." He steps outside. The regiment's remaining Tigers, 28 now, down from 42 in June, squat in a meadow like steel cathedrals. Crews cluster around them, faces pale beneath grime. A sergeant is painting a crude white circle on every lower glacis. "Aim here, Amis." Meyer watches a loader test fire a Panzer Faust against a wrecked Sherman. The shaped charge punches clean through. Good, but the Faust is one shot, 30-meter range. The American toy fires again and again, and they have thousands. A runner skids up on a motorcycle, thrusts a flimsy into Meyer's hand. Casualty report. 11 Tigers lost since dawn. 7 to unknown rocket teams. Unknown. The word tastes like rust. Meyer crumples the paper. He remembers 1940, Blitzkrieg, French tanks burning in tidy rows. Now the burning is German, and the rows are getting longer. In the distance, artillery rumbles. American shells walking closer. Meyer lights another cigarette, hands steady only because rage has burned the fear out of them. "Signal all companies. From now on, no advance without infantry screens 50 meters ahead. Every hedgerow is a potential ambush, and if you see a GI with a stovepipe, shoot first." The runner salutes and roars away. Meyer looks at the captured bazooka again. He imagines the assembly lines in Detroit, thousands of these things rolling out while German factories choke on bomb craters. One toy, one private, one shot. The whisper is becoming a roar, and the Wehrmacht is running out of ears to plug. Mud sucks at Joseph O'Callahan's boots like it wants to keep him forever. The ditch smells of cordite, apple rot, and fear sweat. His last rocket is gone, fired an hour ago at a Panzer IV that never saw him coming. Now he's down to the M1 Garand, 8 rounds, and a prayer. Ramirez is dead. A machine gun burst caught him reloading behind a haystack. O'Callahan dragged the body into the ditch, closed the corporal's eyes, took the dog tags. The tags clink against his own with every heartbeat. Above the parapet, twilight paints the bocage purple. Somewhere out there, German infantry probe with MG-42s, their fire stitching the hedgerows like hungry hornets. O'Callahan presses his helmet to the earth and counts bursts. 1, 2, 3, then silence. They're listening for screams. He thinks of Brooklyn, of his mother's kitchen radio crackling with war news, of the priest who told him, "Bring the boys home, Joey." He wonders if the priest ever imagined home would smell like this. A shadow moves. O'Callahan raises the Garand. Friend or foe? A helmet silhouette. American. Sergeant Kowalski slides into the ditch, face black with soot. "You the bazooka kid?" O'Callaghan nods, throat dry. Kowalski grins like a wolf. "Brass wants you up front. They're calling you Tiger Killer on the nets." He tosses O'Callaghan a fresh rocket bag. "3 more birds. Platoon's got a date with a roadblock. 4 Panzers, maybe 5. You in?" O'Callaghan looks at Ramirez's tags, and then at the rockets. The weight feels different now. Not a toy, a promise. He slings the bag. "Lead the way, Sarge." They crawl out, bellies to the dirt, past shell craters steaming in the dusk. Behind them, medics shout for plasma. Ahead, engines growl, Maybach's warming up for a night counterattack. O'Callaghan's pulse is a drumbeat. 1 shot, 1 tiger. 1 shot, 1 tiger. He doesn't know that by morning, divisional artillery will credit bazooka teams with 19 confirmed kills. He doesn't know that in Berlin, a panicked OKW staffer is typing an urgent memo titled Gefahr, Amerikanische Panzerbugsche. He only knows the ditch is behind him, the rockets are heavy, and the next hedgerow is waiting. The sergeant whispers, 50 yards, then left. Ready? O'Callaghan chambers around. The click is loud in the quiet. Ready.
A single lamp flickers over the map table. Red grease pencil lines crawl like blood vessels across Normandy. General der Panzertruppen Hans Eberbach stands coatless, tie askew, eyes bloodshot from 3 nights without sleep. The room smells of cold coffee and defeat. His chief of staff, Oberst von Kriegern, lays the latest tally on the felt. 412 tanks lost in July. 412. More than the entire Africa Corps lost in a year. Beside the number, a scrolled note in Kriegern's hand. Bazooka. 68 confirmed, 117 probable. Eberbach traces a finger over the St. Lo sector. There, the American 7th Corps has punched a hole wide enough to drive a fleet through. There, Mueller's regiment, once the pride of the 2nd Panzer Division, is down to 6 runners. There, the word bazooka appears in every after-action report like a curse. A runner bursts in, salutes, hands over a flimsy. Eberbach reads aloud, voice flat. To all units, effective immediately, Tigers will not advance unless preceded by 2 platoons of Panzer Grenadier minimum. Button up at all times. Engage infantry at 800 meters. Avoid hedgerows. Repeat, avoid hedgerows. He crumples the order. They want us to fight blind, like Russians in 41. Kriegen says nothing. Outside, a distant rumble. American fighter bombers hunting stragglers. Eberbach remembers the laughter in June when the first captured bazooka was passed around like a joke. Now the joke is on them. He turns to the window. Dawn creeps gray over the orchards. Somewhere out there, a kid from Brooklyn is loading another rocket. Somewhere, a Tiger crew is painting frantic white circles on their armor, praying the next GI misses. Eberbach lights a cigar with shaking fingers. He says to Rommel, "Tell whoever's left, the Panzer is no longer king." The lamp gutters. In its dying light, the map looks like a butcher's chart. Joseph O'Callaghan sits on an ammo crate, held between his knees, staring at the Purple Heart someone pressed into his palm an hour ago. The ribbon is still crisp. The metal feels heavier than the bazooka ever did. Around him, the 120th Infantry Regiment licks its wounds after the German counterattack at Hill 314. The barn smells of iodine, wet wool, and the sweet rot of apples trodden underfoot. Sergeant Kowalski limps over, drops beside him. 17 confirmed, Joey. Division says you're the regiment's top tank killer. He nudges O'Callaghan with an elbow. Hell of a month for a dock worker's kid. O'Callaghan turns the medal over. 17. He remembers each flash, the tiger at St. John de Die, the panther that brewed up outside Tessie, the Stug whose crew bailed out screaming. 17 steel coffins. 17 crews who laughed at the stovepipe until the sky fell on them. Kowalski offers a cigarette. O'Callaghan takes it, hands steady now. He thinks of Ramirez's tags still around his neck. Thinks of the letter he still hasn't written to Ramirez's wife in El Paso. Thinks of Mueller. Did the Hauptmann live? Did he crawl from the fire and curse the name O'Callaghan? A runner ducks through the barn door. Lieutenant says the Krauts are pulling back. Whole damn line's cracking. Outside, engines fade west. Not the confident growl of my box anymore. A ragged, desperate snarl. O'Callaghan steps into the night. The sky is clear, stars sharp as shrapnel. Somewhere beyond the hedgerows, the elite Panzer divisions, once the terror of Europe, are learning to fear the dark. Kowalski claps his shoulder. You did it, kid. You and every other GI with a drain pipe. They're running. O'Callaghan exhales smoke into the cool air. 17 tanks. 412 in July alone. 1,000 nightmares for every German crew that hears the whoosh in their sleep. He pins the Purple Heart to his shirt, right over the hole where a splinter kissed him outside Veer. The metal glints once in the moonlight, then disappears under his jacket. Tomorrow, the advance continues. Tomorrow, more rockets, more hedgerows, more fireballs. But tonight, in this barn that smells of apples and blood, Private Joseph O'Callaghan allows himself one small, exhausted smile. The toy has become a titan. The laughter is over. The road to Berlin just got shorter.